Welcome to Jeffery Music. Today we're going to go over the top 5 things that you must know about music royalties and pros. If you're a music artist, producer, or songwriter, you might be leaving serious money on the table. Royalties aren't just about Spotify or Apple streams. They come from multiple sources. And if you don't know how to claim them, you're never going to see the checks. And make sure you stick around until the end, because I'll share a groundbreaking forecast on how AI and sync licensing are about to change the entire industry. Trust me, you'll want to be ahead of that curve. Today I'll break down the 6 core royalty types that every musician should know. Then I'll walk you step by step through the 5 organizations you need to join to make sure you're paid correctly. By the end, you'll know how to collect money from every corner of the music industry, locally and worldwide. Let's go over the basics. There are 6 main royalty types every artist should understand. Performance royalties are earned when your music is performed publicly. Radio, live concerts, television, in stores, or streaming. These are paid to songwriters and publishers. In the US, performance royalties might earn you just a few cents per play on the radio and a small slice of streaming's 0.003 to 0.005 per stream, or even less than that if you're looking at Spotify. Mechanical royalties come from the reproduction of your compositions, your digital downloads, streams, and other physical sales. These are also paid to songwriters and publishers. In the US, the statutory rate is 9.1 cents per copy sold or downloaded. On streams, you might see fractions of a cent, roughly half a thousandth to 1,000th of a dollar per play. Publishing royalties are the umbrella that includes both performance and mechanical royalties. This is the total pool that publishers and writers split. On a successful track, publishing can represent 10 to 30 cents of total earnings. Songwriter royalties are the songwriter's direct cut of publishing royalty. Typically, half of publishing income goes to the writer and the other half to the publisher. If you wrote the song and published it yourself, you get both shares. On the other hand, sound recording royalties come from the master recording itself. These go to artists, labels, and producers. On Spotify, that's around 3 to 5 thousandths of a dollar per stream. If you don't own the master, most of the money goes to your label. Sync royalties is earned when your music is synced to video, film, or commercials, YouTube, TikTok, or video games. These payments are split between songwriters and recording owners. Payouts can be as little as a couple $100s for a small YouTube sync or 6 figures for a national commercial. There are also print royalties from sheet music sales, usually 10 to 20% of the retail price. These are less common, but still part of the puzzle. If you only remember one thing, different royalties go to different people, and you need the right organizations to collect each one. Here's the checklist so far. You get performance royalties when your music is played live or streamed. You get mechanical royalties when your music is downloaded or recreated. Publishing royalties is the umbrella that both those are under. Songwriter royalties are your direct writer share. Sound recording royalties come from owning the masters. And sync royalties are paid when your song is put in a video, a movie, or a commercial, or something like that. Keep this all in mind, because we'll connect them all to the right organizations shortly. So let's move on to pros. The main 3 pros in the US are ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC. Now that you know all the types of royalties, the big question is, who actually makes sure you get paid? That's where these organizations come in. And the differences between them can literally mean thousands of dollars in your pocket. First, let's talk about pros, meaning performing rights organizations. The 3 in the US, like I said, ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC. Today, ASCAP costs about $50 to join. When I joined, it was more expensive, so you're getting a deal. If you're also the publisher, then you'll have to have a separate account for that. They take about 12% off the top for every administration. They cover U.S. performance royalties, but also have reciprocal deals worldwide. BMI is free for songwriting, but $150 if you want to register as a publisher. So if you have a label, like I do, then you have to have 2 different accounts. They also keep 10 to 15% for administration. Like ASCAP, they focus on the U.S. mainly, but work with foreign societies to collect abroad. Once you really start making it, then you might get an invite to CSAC. It's invitation only. They don't charge up front, but negotiate unique deals with members. The upside is boutique service and faster payouts. The downside is you can't just sign up. Who do pros serve? Songwriters, composers, publishers. And why join? Because performance royalties are impossible to collect on your own. Pros go after venues, broadcasters, streaming services, and ensure your share makes it back to you. And here's the common mistake indie artists make. You can only belong to one pro at a time. If you try to double dip, your registrations get tangled up and your checks can be delayed for months. Pick carefully. And here's the kicker. With the American Music Fairness Act gaining traction, U.S. radio may finally be forced to pay performers as well as songwriters. That means pro payouts could rise significantly in the near future. There's a couple others that we need to talk about. The MLC, the next stop in the mechanical licensing collective. The MLC handles mechanical royalties from digital streams and downloads in the U.S. It costs nothing to join. They pay out 100% of what's collected from Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Tidal, and others. Their coverage is U.S. only, though. Who do they serve? Songwriters and publishers. Why does it matter? Because if you don't register, your royalties sit in what's called a black box. Unclaimed funds that eventually get redistributed. And here's the trending note. If the Living Wage for Musicians Act passes, raising payouts to a penny per stream, the MLC will be the only way for writers to receive that increase. Next, let's talk about sound exchange. If pros collect for the songwriter and MLC covers mechanicals, sound exchange collects for the recording itself. Their focus is digital performance royalties for the master recording. Think SiriusXM or Pandora and other non-interactive digital streams. It's free to join. The payouts are split. 45% to the featured artists, 5% to non-featured players like session musicians, and 50% to the rights holder or the label. Their coverage, again, is mostly US, though they have some international agreements. Who do they serve? Artists, producers, and rights owners. Why does it matter? Because streaming payouts are tiny, often less than half a cent per stream. Sound Exchange provides a completely separate revenue stream that most indie artists miss if they don't register. And here's where it gets interesting. Even if you register anywhere correctly, the industry itself is shifting under our feet. By the time we get to the forecast at the end, you'll see how AI is changing sync, film scoring, and even background music, and why human creativity may be the last thing keeping you from being replaced. Publishing admins, song trust, and beyond. Here's what most artists miss. If you only sign up for a distributor and a pro, you're leaving most of your mechanical or recording royalties on the table. For some indie artists, this could be hundreds or even thousands of dollars that just disappear every year. Here's the official chart from the Mechanical Licensing Collective, MLC. It shows exactly who gets paid and where the money flows. Sound Exchange themselves show how they split the money. 45% to featured artists, 5% to session players, and 50% to the person or the company that owns the rights to the music. Now let's go global. Every country has its own pros and collection societies. Registering with them all is impossible. Publishing administrators like SongTrust handle that for you. They charge $100 to sign up plus 15% commission. They collect worldwide and you keep 85%. They cover over 60 countries. Who do they serve? Indie artists, producers, and small publishers who need global reach. Why does it matter? because without a publishing administration, your songs could be earning or being used in Europe, Asia, South America, and you'd never see a dime. Taylor Swift's battle to reclaim her master is proof of how much ownership matters. You might not have $1 billion catalog, but using a publishing admin ensures that your rights are tracked globally. Today, distributors are how you get your music onto Spotify, Apple, TikTok, Amazon, and every other platform. Distributors like DistroKid, TuneCore, CD Baby, SongTrader. DistroKid charges $23 a year for unlimited uploads and takes no commission. TuneCore charges about $10 per single or $30 per album each year, and you keep 100% of your royalties. CD Baby charges about $10 per single and $30 per album, and takes 9% of the royalties. SongTrader has a free tier, or you can pay a cut of 10 or 20% when they land sync deals for you. Who do they serve? Any artist who wants their music on digital platforms. Here's the myth. Distributors only deliver your music. They do not collect your pro, MLC, or Sound Exchange royalty. You still need to register separately for all three. Now picture this. Your track goes viral on TikTok, lands on a Spotify playlist, racks up 1 million streams, 1 million spins on SiriusXM, and even gets synced in a Netflix show. Instead of wondering where the money goes, every penny is tracked, every penny is paid, because you registered with the right organizations. So here's your checklist. Join a pro like ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC. Register with MLC, claim your recordings with Sound Exchange, and consider publishing admins like Songtrust. Then choose a distributor for worldwide reach. Don't let your art go unpaid. Smash that like button, drop your royalties questions in the comments, and subscribe for more insider tips on mastering the music business. Now it's time for that future forecast. AI and the next wave. Before we wrap up, let's look at where sync, film scoring, and music creation are headed, because the next 5 years could reshape the royalty game. AI isn't coming, it's already here. The generative AI in music marketing was valued at over $400 million in 2023 alone, and it's projected to reach nearly $2.8 billion by 2030. Growing at an annual rate of 30% according to Grandview Research. Splice, backed by Goldman & Sachs, recently bought Spitfire Audio, a high-end orchestral sample company. I own some Spitfire Audio stuff. They bought it for about $50 million. The deal shows how serious companies are about merging AI tools with traditional music creation. And the Universal Music Group is openly experimenting with AI too, collaborating with Google DeepMind to explore new ways to create music while trying to protect artists' rights. But the risks are huge. A global study by CISAT predicts that by 2028, as much as a quarter of the creators' revenue, nearly 10 billion euros, could be at risk from generative AI replacing human-made music. That means studios may prefer cheap, instant, AI-generated scores over hiring real composers. So what does that mean for indie musicians? It means the competition will be tougher. Sync deals, movie scores, background music, more of them will be filled by AI. But here's the good news. Authentic human music still connects in ways that AI can't. Supervisors, directors, and brands know that when they need music with soul, only human can deliver it. The artists who will win are those who own their rights, stay registered across all royalty systems, and strategically place their music where authenticity matters most. AI may flood the market, but the artists who protect the royalties and lean into genuine creativity with soul will always find opportunities. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Jeffrey Curtis. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, ring the bell, and I have some other channels too. Check them all out. That support really does help you out. Have a good day.